A small group of officers in Crystal received recognition for life-saving efforts on 2 different calls. But as reporter Rusty Ray found out, the same officer on both calls had quite a journey himself.
When Crystal police officers Josh Caston and Anna Futterer took a call for a woman in her 70s who'd fallen and wasn't breathing, he thought maybe he'd seen it before.
Unfortunately, it always doesn't work out the best. And with this situation, we got there and we could see that she was still breathing. We could see that we still had really a solid chance in saving her life.
The officers used an AED and kept the patient alive until paramedics arrived, and she survived. At a city council meeting in March, Chief Stephanie Revering honored the officers.
To me, it's another day on the job, and this is part of what I signed up for. And so, while I appreciate it, and it does make me feel good. It makes most of us feel good when we get those recognitions. But to us, we're just doing our job.
But what brought Caston to the job in the first place is quite different than most. In 2015, while with friends in Baltimore, he was robbed and shot.
The bullet went through the front part of my neck, it went through my right lung, collapsed my lung, and then it lodged up in my shoulder.
His recovery led him to seek a job in law enforcement. His experience brings him closer to those he serves.
Knowing what it's like, and then to kind of come through it, make my own transformation, it makes it easier to relate to the fact that hey, well, yes, right now you're going through something that might be really tough for you to go through, but at the end of it, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it keeps Officer Caston going on every call, in every situation. In Crystal, Rusty Ray, CCX News.
And the other case that Caston was recognized for involved an overdose when he and the other officer were able to administer Narcan to revive the person in need. Brooklyn Center is now seeking community input when it comes to the recommendations for creating alternatives for a police response. The Dante Wright and Kobe Dimmick Heisler Community Safety and Violence Prevention Committee gave a presentation to the council last week outlining creating a 2-person response team called REACH, which stands for Response, Engagement, and Crisis Help Team. The recommendation is for some calls like welfare checks, noise complaints, or a drug overdose call to have a mental health professional and an EMT respond. This is estimated to divert about 23% of police calls. The city will now be gathering public input on that plan. Creating more opportunities for young riders is the central goal of Right Like Us. It's an equity-based mentorship program now at North Hennepin Community College. Reporter Jason Malello explains more.
Hear ye, I am here to holler.
The words ring out
and played me until I woke singing
from the thin man
and smiling. Thank you
in the pink hat.
Thank you.
Best-selling writer Ross Gay sharing his prose with an audience at North Hennepin Community College.
Thank you the way before he died.
The event was part of North Hennepin's Right Like Us program,
back in a waft of incense,
which aims to build equity in the school's creative writing programs.
Students of color can be paired with local writers as mentors, and then those local writers here in the Twin Cities that are mentoring our students will then be mentored by national authors.
St. Paul writer Tawana Shambly started mentoring North Hennepin student Trey Beto a few months ago.
Every time me and him meet, he has a new book idea. He is a world builder, he's a sci-fi and fantasy writer, and he's just this endless source of energy.
I don't like disappointing her, so I'm always I have to get a whole bunch of writing done in between our meeting times. So I'm okay, I have things to show Tawana so she can be proud of me, right?
It's so nice to be reading with you all.
Right Like Us is more than just a mentoring program, though.
I believe in our young people.
For Trey and Tawana,
oh, thank you.
Both trans people of color, it creates a safe space to inspire.
For I have awakened
and be inspired.
As trans people, we have access to very specific experiences that give us access to very specific points of knowledge.
Goodbye.
In Brooklyn Park,
I mean to say,
Jason Malello.
And thank you.
CCX News.
Every day.
This year, the American Kennel Club picked 3 junior competitors from Minnesota to be part of a team that competes in the World Championship in England this summer. They train at a facility in Maple Grove, and we got to drop in and meet a few of the handlers and their dogs.
Rick, up. If the mark of a professional is making the difficult look easy, you can tell these handlers and their canine companions are already at the top of their game.
I'm so excited. I never thought I would ever get to this point.
This will be the first world competition for Maple Grove High School student Bridget Mark and her Sheltie Spice.
She's a very seasoned dog before I started running her, so she knew exactly what she was supposed to do.
To prepare for competition, Bridget and Spice meet up with teammates at Cloud9 Dog Training in Maple Grove. First, they take time walking through the course and going over cues.
We're gonna start over here. Good girl.
Then they practice running the course a few times.
Spice, stay. 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 Break. Tunnel, tunnel, tunnel.
Always rewarding the dogs for a job well done.
Awesome. Good girl.
One of the toughest skills to master for any dog is the weave.
Weave.
A skill that Ava Rawlings, the youngest member of Team USA, and her schnauzer Axel are working on.
You have to teach your dog how to do a lot of things. You have to teach yourself how to do things. So it's just hard.
Ava says they work on the big challenges here, knowing it sometimes takes a second run to get it right.
Judges are looking for things like faults. So what is a fault? A fault is a dropped bar, or there's a piece of yellow on obstacles that is called a contact, and we have to make sure the dogs get their feet in the yellow safety zone.
Another Ava Gardner, and her Sheltie Merle have been to a world competition before.
At this level, there's no room for mistakes.
Her advice to her friends, train as much as you can, but in the end, just have fun.
Who wouldn't want to spend time with your dog all day? And you develop this bond with these animals that is just truly amazing, and it doesn't feel like a job or a work. It's just pure fun. It's playing with your best friend. What could be better than that?
The girls are part of a team of 24 from Team USA who will compete in July. Good luck.